Hey my friends, this is Daniel Alley, and today I want to talk with you about 5 major mistakes that most salespeople make. You know, sales is one of the oldest professions. In fact, it might be the oldest profession of all time. And everything moves because of a sale. A lot of times people think that sales is bad, right? They want to take a shower because they feel dirty after making a sale, or they feel that one person wins, one person loses after a sale. But the fact is that sales is the only thing that actually helps businesses run, right? Because you're exchanging dollars for services, and that's how it's going to work until we die. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 mistakes that salespeople make and what you need to do to completely avoid them. So please listen up. The first mistake that I've seen people make in sales is selling with a desperate attitude. You know, desperation is one of the biggest ways to lose trust. When someone knows you're desperate, they don't believe you anymore, right? They can tell because they can see how quickly you're trying to rush through the process of selling. And they're not convinced to do business with you because they don't feel that commitment, that engagement, that excitement that you should be giving them. You see, sales is a major transfer of energy. And if you're transmitting the spirit of desperation, everyone is going to know it. They're going to know when you're trying to close the sale prematurely. They're going to know when they see that you're lying to them about a story. They're going to know when you're pushing them past their own limits and making them feel uncomfortable about the decision that you think they should make. You know, desperation is a major sales killer, and you've got to understand that the sale will be made as long as you sell something to someone who actually needs it. No one's gonna buy something that they don't need, so why would you force yourself to sell something to someone that they don't even want? So the key is to put less emphasis on yourself and more emphasis on them, because selling is service and service is selling. Always remember this, my friend. The second mistake that salespeople make is that they fail to ask questions. You know, a lot of times people end up talking themselves out of the sale, and they end up disclosing so many details that don't matter to the customer. Just think about it. Let's say you're gonna go buy a car and a salesman is talking about all the things that don't matter to you, right? He's talking about safety, he's talking about mechanical things, when all you really care about is the style, the color, and the price. He's not going to be able to convince you to buy unless he addressed the issues that are in your heart and in your mind. So as long as he continues to tell you about how safe the car is and how many crash tests it passed and how the engine works and how fast it is, none of that is going to matter until he addresses the issues that matters to you the most. So the key to successful selling is asking questions. Now, there's 2 kinds of questions you can ask. You can ask open-ended questions or closed-ended questions. An open-ended question is what brings you in today. How can I serve you? What is it that you're looking for? Is there anything specific that you've come in for today that I can help you with? It can also be a this or that question. For example, do you like red or green? Do you like to move fast or do you like to move slow? Do you want to go up or do you want to go down? You see, you can ask questions and get a definite answer if you ask the right kinds of questions. So the next time you find yourself in a selling situation, make sure to set yourself up to ask the right questions. The third reason why salespeople fail is often because they're too selfish. Now, I know I covered this before, but the reason why people are selfish is because they're more focused on their own commission than they are on serving the customers at hand. Maybe they know that in the back of their mind that if they want to feed their family, they're going to have to push a lot harder. And so they end up putting themselves first instead of putting the customer first. And what begins to happen is that not only do people end up getting a desperate mentality, but even worse, they become discouraged and they quit. You see, a lot of times people quit because they don't understand sales. And the reason why a lot of people who are made for sales don't understand sales is because they put themselves first. Now notice that I said that sales is something that you can be born with, right? You can be born to persuade people more than people who are not born to do so. And so you need to understand that selling is a gift that you can naturally have, but it's also a gift that can be cultivated. Everyone can learn how to sell, but everyone needs to know that in order to sell correctly, you have to be able to reach people directly. You have to be able to relinquish your own selfish desires by forgetting what you need and by focusing on serving people and giving them exactly what they need. Because here's the truth. We live in a world filled with givers and takers. And people who take will never be able to receive more than people who give. Because people who give are so busy supplying. They're so busy helping. They're so busy planting. They're so busy doing for others more than they do for themselves that in the end they make so many friends who end up benefiting them in the end. Because we live in a world filled with givers and takers, and 90% of people just want to take. But if you're part of the 10% who actually want to give, then you will be rich, right? You will have all your desires met because you're more than willing to give more to others than you're willing to take from them. You see, because that is the secret to wealth. If you're willing to give more to people than you're willing to take from them, then you'll always have success. But if you're always trying to get, it will only lead into debt because you're only thinking about yourself. So just realize that the more you go out of your way to help people, the more people will go out of their way to help you. Now, the fourth reason why people fail in sales is really simple. They get into lazy habits. They think they know it all, that they forget to brush up on the basic things that got them there in the first place. You see, this is what happens when people become complacent. They've gained so much success, and then they forget what got them there in the first place. They forget to put on a tie. They forget to shine up their shoes. They forget the product details of the thing that they're actually trying to sell. They forget to be kind throughout the process. They forget the history of their company. They forget to use the customer's name and make them feel comfortable. And what begins to happen is that their success starts to deteriorate. All of a sudden, they fall into a slump because they forgot the little details that got them there in the first place. So what I'm saying is to brush up, work on your skills, work on your habits, work on your disciplines by reading the books, going to the conferences, and asking the tough questions that you know that helped you get to the place that you're currently at right now. Because if you do your best to work on yourself in the present, it will set you up for monumental success that you'll be able to have in the future. And the fifth and final mistake that most salespeople make is not following up. Look, my friends, if you've been in sales for multiple years, you've got a lot of people who really need to follow up from you. They really need to hear your voice. They really need a letter. They really need an email, a text, a phone call, even a personal visit. And if you don't make your presence known, then they're never going to be sold. You see, the fortune is in the follow-up. And the more you follow up with people that you formerly did business with, the more successful you're going to be in the end. Right now, there's people that you have in your sales book, and hopefully you have a sales book, you can keep track of all the people you've dealt with in the past, who need what it is that you're offering right now. Maybe you weren't able to make the sale 5 years ago, but now you can make it today because their needs have changed. My friends, you're never going to know who is willing to buy until you go out there and make contact with them. I want you to remember that contacts lead to contracts and interactions lead to transactions. The more hands you shake, the more people you meet, the more people you call, the more money you'll make. You see, every day I personally make a goal to reach out to at least 5 people a day. I know that sometimes they might not be ready to buy. I know that sometimes they might even be turned off. But either way, I'm gonna do my best to reach out to those people because most of the times they are happy about it. Most of the times they do want to hear from me. Most of the times I do end up making sales. And that is how you become a master salesperson. My friends, this is Daniel Alley. I want you to have success in every single way possible. If you want more ideas on how to do this, I want you to consider joining my program, The School of Wealth. 1 year of training could change your life. Basically everything I wanted to know when I started all my professional endeavors. You can check out the link in the description below and use the code SUCCESS for 50% off. If you have any questions, please write me an email at info@danielalley.com. Guys, ask me anything. I read all my emails and I want to see you have success in everything you do moving forward. Again, this is Daniel Alley. I look forward to watching you become as successful as you're called to be, and I'm telling you, you are going to do a lot for the rest of humanity. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.